What is up, everybody? My name is Skylar Severico, and it has been a long time since you've heard anything from me, unless this is the future, in which case you're just watching this whenever you happen across it. But anyway, I think the last video that I uploaded as of this recording, which is today is July 31st, 2019, and the last video that I uploaded was back in November 2018. So it has actually been well over a year since I first started this Ocarina of Time LP, and almost a year since my last episode which was in September, I think. And so the reason I haven't been uploading, it's a really long story, mostly just because life itself has gotten kind of crazy. And then it just became really rough for a while, and I didn't have any time or really a good place to do any recording, and I wasn't really in the right mindset either, just because of how life was becoming. So now that things were becoming much more stable again, I decided that I would try to get back into recording some, and I figured this was a good way to ease myself into it. So if anybody has been watching my Ocarina of Time LP, at the end I said I'd do some bonus episodes, so I figured I'd at least try to keep my promise on some of those. As you can see, you probably already have seen this episode, but oh my god. So I decided that I was going to do a full cut of my Big Poe hunt without any edits, and I would just kind of commentate over it, just so I can kind of, have something to talk about while you get to see something that you sort of didn't see. Like, yeah, you saw me do the Big Poe hunt, but I just figured I'd show the whole thing without any cuts, just to kind of see go through the experience with me as I experienced it, I suppose. So I'm sorry if my voice competing with my own voice is a little distracting. There'll be a point at which I'm not talking as much, just because I didn't talk during the entire thing, and I can kind of fill in the silence with fresher commentary to kind of give an idea of like how it was as I was doing it. But it's a little while before we even get to that point, so if I run out of things to say, I'll probably just cut to when we actually start the hunt. But I wanted to start a little before it so I can kind of warm myself up a little bit. So as I said, a lot of things have been happening in my life that made me take a hiatus from recording or even editing anything. Nothing I really want to talk about, and definitely not anything that's within the scope of this video. Or even, I don't know. And it's another thing, I get to cringe at the things I said at the time. I don't remember exactly when this episode was recorded, but it had to be back in, maybe July of 2018, probably, if I had to guess. Probably July of 2018. Oh, and I think I keep a cut. Yeah, I keep that cut in there. Oh, and my voice got louder, so I'll probably have to fix that. You won't hear any difference, but in my earphones I hear a difference. I'm actually going to lower it a little bit. So yeah, I really like when people go back and watch their old stuff, so they can kind of see what they did, and usually they cringe at it, and it's probably what's going to happen here for some of this. But in other parts of it is going to be like things that I'm going to talk about, what I might have been thinking at the time, if I didn't really explicitly state it while I was actually recording this. Because as you can imagine, I probably got pretty tired by the end of this. I can kind of see that the recording of just this part is well over 45 minutes. What is going on here? Can I just a little bigger for myself? That's fine. Okay. Don't worry about it. Go on your merry way. We're not going to prize until 100, so we're just going to keep collecting and not worry about that until later. Yeah, that 100 Skulltula prize. So anyway, so this is just going to be kind of a really relaxed episode. I'm not going to do too much crazy editing or anything in it. I'm just kind of easing myself back into the whole making YouTube videos thing. And hopefully I can be inspired to get back into my Pokemon Coliseum Let's Play, which I've never really beaten the game, but I get the feeling that it's pretty close to the end of at least the main story, and I'm not too sure how far into that I'm gonna go, just because there's so much, there's so much extra in it. Ooh, good shot. There's so much extra in it, and it's kind of a labor to capture all the Pokemon, I guess. So I don't know. I guess for that Let's Play, I'm just gonna kind of, oh man. I'm just going to kind of play it until I get bored of it, I guess, and don't really feel like I have anything left I want to do in it. Because there's just so many Pokemon, and it's not like I have any aspirations to 100% it at all. It's just like, it was just supposed to be kind of a very different Let's Play to Ocarina of Time. So, I don't know, we'll see. One of these days I might just break out all the recording equipment and just do another episode, the next one. So, for anybody that was watching that, I apologize that I just sort of stopped without any sort of explanation. A lot better than the first time. Without going into too many details, what really ended up happening was I ended up moving out of my parents and into my own place, but then that spiraled down into a whole series of events that made me end up depressed for a while. Like I said, I'm not going into any details. It's not anything I want to talk about in this video in any case. But anyway, I think we're about to start the Poe hunt here. And I think my talking chops are a little warmed up now.
And it looks like there's room for a fourth. So get that.
Yeah, there is.
A bit of a pain in the ass.
Oh yes, it is.
A couple episodes back when I was riding through Hayfield and I saw Big Poe.
Oh, so another thing I could talk about, speaking of bottles, is I'm pretty sure in one of my episodes I talked about the Zelda Ocarina of Time randomizer, which was at the time just becoming a big thing, and it's still kind of a big thing now, though. You don't see it as much, but people still play it. So I decided maybe about a week ago that I would try my hand at it, and it's actually a lot of fun. I feel like it's something I would want to Let's Play, or at least just kind of do something with it on my channel, just because it is a lot of fun. Oh, well that sucked.
What? I got you.
Oh, what?
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, you son of a bitch, right?
Yeah, this is an indicator for how this is gonna go.
Oh, it is.
You know the drill.
Although it doesn't go as badly as I think it will. So yeah, the randomizer is a lot of fun. Like I kind of have it where I set it to token sanity or skull sanity. I have shop sanity on. I have scrub sanity on. I have key sanity on, and it really makes you think. It's almost like it makes it feel like you're playing the game for the first time again, which is pretty amazing. Ooh. Oh, nice. And that's the first one there.
Get off the horse. Get off the horse.
I wonder if I could... Excuse me for a minute here. Wow. I can kind of see when I will be talking.
That's one. 9 more to go. Maybe this won't be so bad.
So I kind of have an idea. Wait. I don't know why it's not. Sorry about this. Hold on a second, guys. Where? Okay. Okay, now I can kind of see my waveform of when I'm speaking.
And they don't always appear, too. Sometimes you kind of have to cycle back around.
Okay, now this is much... Okay, now we're at the point where I'm not talking every 5 seconds, so maybe we can actually not be distracted with my voice against my voice. The more I go through this, the more I think this is a bad idea. But no, it should be cool. For anybody that's interested, I'm assuming not everybody would be interested in this kind of thing, but I know I would be, so I gotta do what I want to do, right? So anyway, this the randomizer. I don't want to be that channel that just does all the same thing, so I don't know if I do it right away. But I also know I want to try a 3-heart run too. So I don't know, like, because as I've said, this is not my favorite Zelda game, but I just know it so well. and I feel like I'm really good at it for the most part, you know, compared to the average person. So, yeah, I'll have to think about what I want to do. Or even what I want to do after Pokemon Coliseum, you know. But yeah, in any case, the whole point is I highly recommend anybody who's really familiar with Ocarina of Time to give it a try. It's a lot of fun. It's not too hard to set up. You just kind of go to the randomizer website and it tells you all the things you need, and you just feed the ROM in and it randomizes it for you, and you just play it. It's a lot of fun. But we'll see about that in the future. But anyway, so back to the Poe hunt. Yeah, so the Poe hunt is not something that I really did as a kid just because it was too difficult, I think. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It is kind of difficult if you know where they are, and I'll admit that even while I was doing this, I was not 100% sure of every single location, and I had to look them up just to make sure, and I even made a little map for myself, putting little points on the map where they show up. So that can make it kind of difficult. It can also make it difficult if you're not very good with the bow and horseback. And for some of these spawn locations, like right there, you want to approach some of these spots at a very particular angle so that the Poe shows up in one particular way that it'll appear in a good spot for you. What you saw there was I approached the rock, like facing the wall, so the Poe will end up spawning really close to the wall, and anytime that the big Poes touch a solid wall or anything, they automatically disappear no matter how long they've been out for. So, and I don't think I realized this while I was doing that because I kept going back to that rock at that angle, so they would just disappear immediately, and I'm like, well, this is impossible. So that's one thing to keep in mind while you're doing this. So that's another thing that can make this difficult, if you don't know the right approach to making some of these appear in the right angles. This is another one too that can be kind of tricky, because it could appear over the water. Well, sometimes. I don't know, I wasn't sure if it was going to appear there or not. Yeah, see, this is all the stuff I cut out because I was just running around in circles for a long time and not saying anything. Yeah, that was one at that tree right there. And what I mean about being good with the bow on horseback is that you have to be pretty good at aiming, because these guys are fast. They move really quickly.
Shoot like rapid fire, you'll get it more easily.
Yeah, and I just made a good point right there, where
8 more to go.
you when you see one appear, your first instinct might be to be like, oh my god, and panic a little bit, and you just start spamming arrows, but you just end up wasting time and arrows that way, because even if you do get it with a shot, you need to wait a couple seconds, because no matter what you do, it's not going to get hit with an arrow. Because of invincibility frames. So that's also something to keep in mind. That was an excellent shot.
That was cool.
That was a really good shot right there.
I thought I lost that one. Alright, so you can only carry,
and of course, as you can see,
as many bottles as you have. So I have 3 right now, so you don't want to go collecting, you don't want to go shooting some more, because then you won't be able to collect them without a bottle. So let's go and sell them to that ghost guy, so we can continue.
yeah, so as you can see, you have pretty much a time limit once they appear, because they'll run away from you, and once they get a certain distance away from you, or they hit a solid object, they'll disappear. So I never did this as a kid, because, and yeah, all you do is get a bottle from it, which is kind of ironic, because you could have used that bottle. Could have used that bottle to do this a lot more easily. I don't know. I feel like this is not the proper prize I should have given for this relatively difficult task, given the rest of the rest of the missions in this game, the side quests. It's relatively difficult.
Poe today. Very interesting.
Okay.
This is a big Poe.
What?
I'll buy it for 50 rupees.
Why did
After that, I'll give you 100 points on your card. If you end up
Like, I started with one voice, and then it turned into this really bad Indian accent. I'm not sure what was in my head when I was doing that.
Yes. Same shit.
Same shit, different day. I don't know what my thought process was with that accent. That's another thing with doing Let's Plays like this is, the voices you have to give these characters in the spot, because you don't want to just dryly read it every time, because that's not very exciting to watch.
There's one by Lon that I got. There's the one by that fence that I got. What's the third one that I got? I got the one by the fence over there.
Try to
That's 3.
keep track of the ones I already got.
The one by the Kakariko Hill. The one by the rock.
And the ones that I need.
The one by Gerudo. The one
I was very surprised with the one that I ended up needing at the end.
The river. Which one's am I missing?
All of them. You suck. Psh, not kidding.
Back to our hunts. As I try to recall where I have them.
I also want to do a, what do you call it? Oh, I don't think I was expecting that. There we go. It sort of seemed like that one kind of came out as a surprise. Yeah, he was just, I'm talking like I'm a different person. I was just saying there about how sometimes they can appear in really awkward locations, and you want to pick the correct angle to make them appear at, as I said earlier. I want to do kind of a commentated Skulltula guide, but that would require a little bit more. Oh, this is one of the worst ones right here, because this is the best spawn spot for it, but you have like barely 5 seconds to get that one in, just because you stop moving, but it keeps going, and you can make it appear underneath the cliff, over by where the river kind of separates Kakariko stairs from the Zoro River entrance, but it's more difficult because it's more likely to hit that wall right there. It ends up not being very good. So I want to do a commentated Skulltula guide, kind of like the clips of in the game when I collected all 100 Skulltulas and their locations. As sort of like a little guide of sorts, and I kind of want to commentate over that, similar to this, but with a lot more editing involved, because it's just going to be when I collect the Skulltulas. I'm not going to do a whole lot of other gameplay in there. I don't know, I just think that'd be fun. Again, this is stuff, these bonus episodes are kind of more for me, in terms of like what I might like to see as a bonus episode. And there was also me going back to finish the Gerudo Fortress. I mean the Gerudo Training Ground, because there's a few rooms in there that I didn't do just because I didn't have to, because I knew where all the hidden keys were. Not too many. I think like 3 rooms or something like that. But I figure for the sake of completion, at least show them off. Speaking of completion, though, like once you do the randomizer, you start to learn about all sorts of different places and treasure chests that you don't really ever find when you're playing the regular game, just because they have nothing in them. They just usually have chests containing like small amounts of rupees or business scrubs that usually don't have anything of interest. But when you play the randomizer, you want to know all these places, just because they could have the thing you're looking for, because nothing is off limits. And it's caused me to look up like all these different grottos and where the business scrubs are, just because as familiar as I am with the game, I know nothing about these nondescript, unimportant grottos and stuff that don't have anything important to the completion of the game, like heart pieces or sculptulas. Those are the only ones that I know about. But there's so many more that are just for you to find and reward explorers, really. But that's all they are. But you need to know these things for the randomizer, because they can be anywhere that you can reach in the game. And I think the most bizarre thing is that in Death Mountain Crater, the volcano, when you were a child, there was a business scrub, like, inside. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, why would anybody even think to go look for this? Because when you're a child, there's no possible way to spend a lot of time in Death Mountain Crater just because of the time limit, because you'll overheat and die. So obviously it's within reach, but I just wouldn't ever think to go looking for it. And it's just a business scrub that I don't even remember what it has. I don't even know if it's anything good. I don't remember what the vanilla game has in selling you, but when you turn on Scrub Sanity, Deco Scrub, business scrubs can sell you regular items too. What did I just say? Did I just say donkey? What did I just say? That was the weirdest thing. Okay. Man, no wonder I cut all this crap out. There's a fan behind me? Oh. My fan was making some noises. Honestly, you'll probably hear the fan a little bit too, but I live in Florida. I need the fan on, alright? I'd rather have a little background noise than overheat and die for the sake of entertainment. Okay, so as I said earlier, I'm not going to lie and say that I'm so great that I 100% remembered all the 10 locations off the top of my head. This was me consulting my map and maybe even like marking the map. I don't even remember exactly what I was doing here. But this is me checking that map that I mentioned that I made, just to make sure I covered all the locations. Let's see, what else did I want to do for bonus episodes? Yeah, so I don't think I'll be making a video where I show all those extra locations and chests off, just because I don't really. I'll be lucky if I even get to the training ground video, just because I don't know. It's kind of like once you get through a whole playthrough of a game, who really wants to go back to it so soon? I guess it's really not that soon. We're coming up on a year since I've touched this game. Okay, I think here's me trying to make it spawn down here, stupidly. Oh, yeah, okay, it did spawn. I guess I didn't hear it. So that, coming from that angle is possible. I just think it's more difficult. They're both really difficult, no matter how you do it, whether you do it on top of the cliff or you do it at the river. I don't know. I guess it's, player's choice there. So yeah, we have long stretches of silence now where I'm just kind of like, I have nothing to say unless I find one of them. Oh yeah, I also wanted to do that. I really don't think this is going to happen now, but it might. But we'll have to see. Maybe sometime down the line. I wanted to do that video where I go talk to every NPC wearing each of the masks just to see what they say and kind of see if I find anything interesting. But I think that's a lot of work, honestly. I feel like that would take a very long time to do. Just to go to every single NPC in the game that you can talk to for each of the masks, and there are, I think, 8 different masks. So let's just say it takes me I don't know, let's just say it takes an hour to do that with one mask. Then it would take me 8 hours.
Damn it!
Because, like, at the time when I thought of the idea, I thought, oh, that'd be a really cool video. I don't think anybody's ever done that before. But then I realized why they probably haven't done it before. Because it would take a really long time. Like, 8 hours of recording, like, I'd have to do it in pieces. If anything, I would do, like, a video for each mask, but I don't... Or at least, you know, maybe record each mask, each mask, like, at a time, and then edit it all together, because each mask, like, video length-wise, probably wouldn't take up very much time, just because, you know, some people have, their dialogues are the same as other characters, so I wouldn't have to show every single one, or at least I'd just group the similar ones together and kind of just, you know, rapid fire them, like, oh, these people say this or something, and then go to another group. But even still, just the thought, like, and it might even take more than an hour, like, or maybe it wouldn't even take an hour. Like, it's just an estimate, but I'm just figuring, like, you know, all the people in the market, a lot of them say the same thing though. I'm not sure if the guards give you any sort of comment. I don't remember. Ooh. That was really lucky. Then you have all the characters in Kakariko Village. You have Goron City, Kokiri Forest.
That's the hardest one.
I guess the guy in the Lakeside Laboratory. He might say something. I'm not sure if the fishing game guy says anything. And excuse me. Good going. I'm boring myself with this video. I'm just kidding. I'm not sure if the guard in Gerudo Valley says anything to you. Whether it's the one guarding the gate and the one that's down by the cow there. I don't know. They may say something to you. That's what I'm saying, that the concept of the video is very interesting and might yield some fun results. It's just the work I would have to put into it is off-putting. But we'll see. I might consider it. Or at least, you know, like I said, I could do it in pieces too, so I wouldn't have to do all the masks in one day, but I could just do like one a day for as long as it takes me. That was another bonus video idea I had. Another bonus video idea I had was making a best of kind of video where I kind of edit like the funniest or most interesting parts of the entire Let's Play. The problem with that is that for the first, I think, like 20 episodes or so, I deleted the final files for them just because I was running out of space on my computer.
You were not even in the direction.
I did keep all the source materials, all the recorded footage and everything, and the timelines and everything are still exist, so I could technically re-export them, but that would take a long time. Although now that I think about it, oh, you know what I could do? Oh, I just thought of it. Like, I could go to the timelines and just export the sections that I want. I wouldn't have to export the entire episode, just the parts that I want. And I believe I still have hard copies of like the last 20 episodes. You know, I still have those intact. So I would just, you know, cut and paste from the source. Oh, that's a good idea now that I think about it. I could definitely do that.
Damn it! Why? I had that one.
Yeah, you did. But you're approaching it from the wrong angle, my dude. Yeah, that's a good idea now that I think about it. Huh. Well, talking apparently gave me good ideas. Yeah, because it takes a while to export a full episode, especially the longer ones, of course. The longer it is, the longer it takes to export. And I think it takes double real time, approximately. So like if an episode is 20 minutes, then it takes about 40 minutes to export. More or less.
Number 7.
But if I just go through each one and pick like the clips that I like, I can just export those and they'll take, you know, a few seconds. And then I can just stick them into the video.
Get on the horse. Get on the horse.
Get on the horse. I don't think I was.
Horse, ride a big Poe.
That's stupid. Why did I even say that? That was the dumbest thing I've heard this entire session, other than that stupid accent I gave the Poe Hunter. So I feel like a good way to like really finish up a Let's Play is to kind of have a compilation video. So I might actually consider doing that, just to kind of get my fingers and hands back into the whole editing thing. The one thing I pride about in my videos, for at least for the Let's Play videos, is the work I put into the editing. Particularly for the things you see on the sides that kind of keep track of progress and such.
As long as I thought it was. I thought it would take me like over an hour. It's a half hour, and I've gotten 8 of them. So that's really not bad.
Yeah, it isn't bad. You could always do it faster, but sometimes you just gotta get lucky. That was good.
Really, could be going so much worse. But I really need some arrows.
Yeah. So, while my video quality may not be the greatest, because it's not, I can only do so much with what I have and what I can afford. Maybe someday I can afford something better, but for now, the quality is okay. It's definitely viewable, in my opinion, but it's not as good as some other channels out there, especially ones that have been doing this for a long time. But I really feel like that, the little details that I put in the editing is great. So that's the stuff I know how to do. But it's a lot of work. It was a lot of work, and that's really where the vast majority of my editing time for these episodes came. Was from doing all that stuff, and it was never, it wasn't perfect. I made mistakes. Mistakes that I didn't catch before, uploading, and, at that point I'm not going to go back and fix it, because, what am I going to do? And in my Pokemon Coliseum Let's Play, having, my current roster at the time, I think that's kind of cool. Keeping up with the levels and everything. Oh. Man. Just... It just seemed like I was going to get so much angrier there, and I just didn't.
Once it hits a wall, it basically disappears.
It really just sounded like I was going to get so much angrier, and I just went, man. What was I talking about? Oh, my editing. Yeah. I remember the most frustrating part of this entire Ocarina of Time Let's Play was those audio problems that I was having that plagued several episodes. And upon retrospect, I think the cause of it was having low disk space on my hard drive. And I think that caused those little glitches in recording somehow, because I feel like I was having trouble finding a room on the disc, because there was a point I got critically low, and that's when I deleted a bunch of episodes, because the full episodes themselves come out to several gigs, and when you got 20 of them, that really adds up. And then once I deleted them, I don't think I ever had a problem again, because I know I think it was the 2 episodes from this one. This was episode 21, so I think episode 23 had the first problem with the audio, where it was just missing parts of my commentary. And the worst part about it is that it'd be one thing if the audio was just missing, but it wasn't just missing. Like, it was actually like, it's like someone had gone in and spliced that part out and then just took the second half of it and kind of smushed it back, so it kind of like skipped. Like, it'd be different if it was just like, the 30 seconds of silence, but no, it was like that 30 seconds just didn't exist. Like, it would skip. You would be listening to one thing and it would just instantly cut to another section. And when I first encountered that problem, it was so confusing because I was kind of like, because before I make sure everything's good, I kind of skip around to make sure the audio is in sync and everything. And I would scrub through, watch a little section, be good, and then I would skip to another section, and all of a sudden, everything was completely off. And I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm pretty sure I had synced up my commentary just fine, and it wasn't a problem until that point. And I finally traced it, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on here? It was just such a mess, and it was a nightmare for me to resync it back up easily because obviously I didn't set up a sync like I do at the beginning of recordings when I sync up the video and the audio together, because obviously I wasn't expecting it to just explode like that. So I think a good, I don't remember how many episodes had that problem. And then sometimes it wouldn't be a problem in other episodes, and I was like, whew, I didn't have that problem. But it was that one. I think the one after it, there's at least another one or two. So maybe like 4 different episodes I was having audio problems with. It really frustrated me. I was almost at the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Because it was already difficult enough of a process to record everything and make sure everything actually recorded, and then edit it all together. So to have all this extra work I had to do with the editing that shouldn't have been a problem in the first place, it was really frustrating. But I'm glad I stuck with it. You see, that's the angle you have to kind of approach that rock.
Yes! That is number 10, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's the last one. Wow, time just flew. I was just talking and talking.
Shoot, how many minutes did that take? About 30 minutes.
Yeah, more like 35.
Yeah, I didn't quite start it at the 1 mark, so.
Because there was a few minutes where I was doing the shooting gallery at the beginning. And for anyone that was confused, maybe that was really confused, maybe, that really big prize reference was a reference to Billy on the Street with Billy Eichner. Me and my mom used to love that show. At least the beginning. Then it got kind of weird at the end. It was a great show where the comedian Billy Eichner, he's really funny if you don't know who he is, but you should. Anyway, he would be on the streets of New York, kind of just talking to people, doing game shows and stuff. And usually when he did a game, there would always be some sort of prize. It was nothing big. It would always be some sort of gag prize.
I think it's interesting.
But after he that was a funny oversight. But I already covered that in the Let's Play. So if he would do a game show when after he explained the rules, he'd be like, you get all the questions right, and you win a really big prize. And that's the way he would say it. It was funny. I don't know. I was tired at this point, and I'm tired now actually. Because it's been 40 minutes of recording, and most of it was just me riding around the field trying to shoot a dead ghost.
I'll buy it for 50 rupees. On top of that, I'll put 100 points on your card. If you are 1,000 points, you'll be a happy man. Wait a minute.
Happy endings.
You have earned 1,000 points. Young man, you are a genuine ghost hunter. Is that what you expected me to say? Because of you, I have extra inventory of Big Poe.
Oh, okay. So this is not over 45 minutes. I forgot that there was more after this that I did. But I'm not gonna go through all that because that wasn't the point of this video. So yeah, it's about 40 minutes that this whole process took.
Which ironically, you earn a prize,
Yeah.
which would have made doing what it took to get it a little bit easier, because you would have been able to hold more than 3 at once, and you only have to go out, 3 times. So, yeah, great. Thanks for that. This is not something I ever
The biting
did,
sarcasm.
It was just way too difficult. I always just, left it at 3 bottles, which was always enough. It's, 3 bottles is definitely enough. Even 2 bottles, I think, is enough.
This is all stuff I said just now.
Definitely a bit of overkill. Like, if you're really cautious and need more fairies and you want to carry some potions, then yeah, I guess. But I think the prize is definitely not worth the effort. If you're not playing to 100%. You just want to play for what you need. This is definitely one of those things. I don't think I'm gonna cut the episode here because
I don't know what prize I think they should have made the Big Hope Hunt. Big Poe Hunt. Big Hope Hunt? Did I just say that?
I think we'll keep going a little bit.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Like, I guess they could have made it a heart piece, or I don't know. Like,
Let's make our way back to character.
Like, I feel like a piece of heart is not enough either, but maybe it is, because there are definitely harder things in this game that you do to get a heart piece, like the shooting game in Gritter Fortress. Maybe. So I don't know. Maybe a heart piece would have been more appropriate. Or I don't know. Maybe that would have been too difficult. So now that we're finished the Poe Hunt, I think I will end this now, so I don't keep rambling on anymore. Because I'm sure if you've made it this far, I applaud you. This is literally just been me talking over myself talking for a video that you've probably already seen. So thank you for bearing with me, and I hope someone out there got some sort of enjoyment out of this, maybe some insight. I don't know. I didn't really say too many insightful things about how I recorded this. I talked a little bit about it, like about my editing. I kind of wish I had talked a little more about that, but oh well. Maybe in a future video I'll talk more in depth about my process of recording and editing. Maybe. I don't know. So like I said, thank you for coming this far if you have. I don't expect a lot of people to be interested in this kind of video, but I certainly hope somebody was. So again, I apologize for the long hiatus, and I hope to get back into this at least somewhat regularly. Maybe I don't know if I could do it as regularly as I did before, but I could definitely try at least, a more frequent video upload, maybe like once a month or something. Just if the inspiration hits me. Definitely be on the lookout for a new Pokemon Coliseum video, or even maybe more likely the compilation video that I talked about earlier for the series, to kind of do a send-off on it. Doesn't mean I won't do at least one of the other bonus videos I talked about, but at least in terms of a video I don't have to do any actual recording for. And I think that'll do it. I don't think I have anything else to say. So thank you all for watching. I love you all as always. For anybody who's actually watching, I really thank you. And I will see you in the next video.
I'm making this a very easy Skeletor to get.